Most Python developers never touch Python metaclasses, but that's exactly why they feel so confusing. In this video, I'll break them down step by step so we'll finally understand the power behind them. Hello coders, welcome to my channel. I'm David, your guide to mastering programming. Metaclass is a class of classes. It is used when you want to control class creation. You already know one metaclass. For example, if I write class A and pass, and now I want to see what type is my class. Not the instance of this A class, but the class A itself, what type it is. And the answer is it's a metaclass. But which metaclass is used to create A? The default metaclass, which is type. So this type is actually a metaclass. Now when I run this, you will see that this will print type. As you can see, type is printed. Metaclasses are used for class creation, and since type is a metaclass, that means that type can create classes. For example, if I want to create my class, I can write type and pass some parameters here. First parameter is the name of the class. In my case, it will be my class. This string here doesn't have to match this variable, this class, but it should. Also, the next parameter is the tuple of classes that this my class inherits from. By default, every class inherits from object class. So you have to pass that here. And if it doesn't inherit from any other class, you can just write comma here. And next is the dictionary of attributes and methods. For example, if I have attribute x and I want the value of x to be 5, I'll simply write the name of my attribute x as a key and the value 5 to be the value of this key value pair in a dictionary. But if I want a function, I can write the name of my function, for example, increment, and here write a lambda function, or even better, I can code my function outside, for example, def increment. This name of this class doesn't have to match the name of the key. You can name it add, for example. But because methods by default have self parameter, you should pass self here, and then use self dot x plus equal 1 to modify the x. Yes, we don't know that x exists, but if we check our dictionary here, it exists. Otherwise, we won't know if it exists or not. And now I want to return self.x. And I can put my function name here as a value to this inc key. This way, my class is created. Now I can create an instance of this class. For example, object will be equal to my class. Also, I can create even special methods, but in that case, I have to name them special as well. Here, I need to write init if I want my init method. And in my creation of that init method here, I need to follow the rules that init method or other special method needs to follow. So keep that in mind. Now I will show you that this worked. I will print the object, the attribute x of this object, and I will also show you that my method is callable and it works. It really increments the value of x. So func will be equal to object.increment. But keep in mind that now if I want to call my function, I need to look at my dictionary and see the name of it. The name of it will be the key, not the value. So I can't write add. This won't work. I need to write inc. And the value of var should be equal to object.x. If this worked correctly, here I should see 5, the value of my function should be 6, and the value of my var should be 6 as well. As you can see, 5 is printed, the value of func is 6, and the var value is 6 as well. Now I'll show you how to create custom metaclasses. To create a custom metaclass, you need to write regular class name, and for example, I will call it my metaclass meta. And here, my metaclass should inherit from type metaclass. Now, this tells Python that I want my meta to be a metaclass. Metaclass usually has new special method because new special method is used for creating an object. So when I create my class, this new will be called immediately before init. Also, metaclasses can have every function that you want. It doesn't have to be a special or just new. And usually, how you would write this, first, when we created our function using the type metaclass, I mean our class using the type metaclass, first we got the name of our class. Then it's usually called bases, but this is the tuple of classes that our class inherits from, and then this DCT, which is a dictionary of attributes and methods. This class is automatically passed by itself as the first parameter. And now here I can print creating a class. And also your new special method should return our class itself. So this should return new name basis DCT. Why it should return? Because new is actually a real constructor in Python. So this should create the object that this class creates. Since this class creates a class, this return should return a class. And it returns it by calling the super function. It uses super function to call the function from the class it inherits from. And then you write a dot and the name of the class that you want to call. So this super.new will call the new class from the new special method from type metaclass. And now everything is ready and I can create my custom class. My class, for example. The important part is I have to write metaclass equals to meta. Otherwise, this won't work and my class won't be created by my custom meta class. Now here I can write x equals 5. And now when I run this, this will print creating a class. As you can see, creating a class is printed. But what will happen if I remove this meta class equals meta? You will see that this won't work the way we wanted. Nothing is printed. That means that our meta class wasn't called when we created my class, meaning our meta class is not put to use. Now I will show you a simple example when and how you can use your meta classes. For example, I can check for attribute in DCT and check if my attribute dot uppercase is uppercase. If this is not met, it means that my attribute name isn't uppercased. So not every character is uppercase letter. And this should return, for example, I'll raise a custom error, type name error. Every letter should be upper. So, let's go through this code to see how it works. Now, my class is created by meta class that I created, meta. Then, this new constructor is run. First, it will print creating a class. Then, it will go for every dictionary element that I have and check if that dictionary element, which will be the names of my attributes and methods, if every character of that name is upper letter. If every character is not upper letter, this will raise name error. Every letter should be upper. Now when I run this code, you will see that creating a class will be printed, and also because X isn't uppercased, this will print every letter should be upper. Creating a class is printed, and every letter should be upper is raised. Now you're probably wondering, what is the difference between ABC and metaclasses? ABCs enforce methods and properties on subclasses, while metaclasses control how you create your class, like in my example above, where I forced all attributes names to have only uppercase letters. If you want to build on what you've learned, my video on Python ABC is the perfect supplement to this knowledge. Go check it out next. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next video.